Hi, and welcome to the Strategic Targeting Podcast. Now, this is the show where we talk to industry experts about what's on their radar right now as top issues. Now, if you're following anything today, you've been hearing about AI and its tools, these fantastic new capabilities, but trying to decide what impact they're going to have on your own business can be a little challenging. So today we're going to talk to Scott Schang. Now, Scott's the founder of Find My Way Home. For the last 15 years, he's used that to help consumers connect with loan officers that can help them get into a new home. Recently, through his Find My Way Home Expert Network, he's been helping loan originators do a better job of adding value to the consumers that they serve. And recently, he's fallen into these AI tools and found some exciting and innovative ways to use them. So we're going to talk to Scott right after this. Scott, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much, Rick.
Now, I don't want anybody to think that I don't know you because I count on your expertise every month when I visit with you about the new things you're finding. And I got to tell you, the stuff you're doing in AI, it's knocking my socks off, Scott. So set the stage for us what we're going to be talking about today.
Well, consider both of our socks knocked off, quite honestly. I've always been kind of a little bit of an early adopter with new technologies. Like you said, I've been a content creator. Actually, back in the day, we used to call it a blogger. So I am a blogger. And when AI kind of came onto the scene, you know, there's positives and negatives, and there's a real danger when you're an early adopter with technology, and especially with AI, of kind of falling down this pit of all of the opportunities that it presents. But the opportunities that I found that I've really been focusing on for maybe the last 5 months or so is just how to use it to create better content. To do what I've been doing for 15 years, educating, empowering consumers, and more recently teaching loan officers how to do that. So my rabbit hole has really been how to leverage this new technology and these new platforms to do a better job to make it easier, more efficient, and even be a little bit more creative in how to let your creativity and kind of, you know, personalize your message. You know, everybody's afraid that AI is going to dumb down the message and take over the internet with just garbage. Well, I would argue that the internet is already kind of filled with a bunch of really mediocre, not well thought out mortgage content. And I actually see ChatGPT as an opportunity to make your personal story and make you shine even more, and more importantly, even more consistently than you've been able to do in the past without these tools.
I love that, Scott. Now, one thing you said really struck home with me. You said you've got this plethora of tools, and it's hard to know what to use first, what to use next. I've been very impressed with the way you have systematically worked your way down through some of these offerings. But for the average loan officer working now, trying to find some growth in a very challenging market,
Yeah.
why do you think this is important now?
Well, I mean, this is definitely important now. So, you know, I started Find My Way Home in 2008, and I did it because I knew consumers were going to be confused about the market and what opportunities, what it meant to them. This is one of the most challenging markets that, you know, our first time home buyer bracket, they were little kids and they saw their families lose their homes. There was a lot of folks that got into financial trouble in 2008, and our first-time buyer demographic, your 27 to 36-year-old first-time home buyer demographic today, they were young kids or teenagers when their parents went through that. So they've got a lot of questions and a lot of concerns about the market, and they were old enough to see when the market was 2.5% interest rates during COVID, and now they're seeing 7% interest rates, and they're just, and quite frankly, our industry has done doesn't do a good job of helping people see the opportunities that all markets present around the benefits of home ownership, because if it bleeds, it leads. So if they're on the internet trying to get information about what they need to know and should they buy in this market, they need people like us to create content to tell that story. I'm going to tell a different story from as somebody being in the industry for decades than a writer for a blog that's trying to get clickbait and trying to get clicks and trying to create controversy and a comment thread, right? So I think that's where the real opportunity is. Consumers are more eager than ever to get professional advice. They're more comfortable than ever to watch videos and to read articles online, and they're more likely than ever to do their homework before they make a decision. So I think this is our opportunity to be that person, to give them that opinion, that second opinion, to give them that information so that they can make informed decisions.
Yeah, now Scott, I know you've been a big proponent of content marketing, and specifically this type of thought leadership for a long time. Is it your contention then? Are you saying that AI can help loan officers accomplish that?
Oh, 100%.
Oh, okay.
It is a time saver. It's going to help shake the cobwebs off of the old creative factory. I mean, even I'm a good writer and I love writing, but staring at that white page on your computer is hard sometimes. It's fantastic for shaking loose ideas, and in terms of efficiency, helping you to it'll get you started. It'll create 90% of your content if you know how to ask it correctly. And that's the real magic of this, is knowing how to ask it. If you're using it as a search engine and say, give me 10 ideas for blog posts, well, you're joining the mediocre content that's out there, because it's the same 10 blog posts that have been evergreen content for the last 20 years.
Right.
There's nothing new about it. But when you really know how to engage with these tools, and you can really get some thought-provoking and some creative ways to express yourself, and it's a time saver. That's the biggest thing. It saves so much time that you can now commit to creating this content consistently, whereas these things took so much time to write and to format and to repurpose it into social posts and repurpose it to send to my referral partners. But now with ChatGPT, you can create a great hub article, a great foundational article, and create all of this promotional content around it. It just makes it so much easier, and it takes so much less time for us to really do it right. And
Yeah.
Consistency is key. That's it.
Yeah.
Even if it's once a month, if you're doing it once a month, every month, that's fantastic.
Yeah. Now, on this show, we're not going to have time to go into depth on how to do this, but I'm going to urge everyone watching this to check out Find My Way Home, and especially, Scott, your expert network, because you go through all that with the people you serve there, and I highly recommend it. But in this show, we have time for a couple more questions, and one, I want to ask you about the risks of not taking these tools seriously now, and then what you think the biggest opportunity is of really embracing them as part of your business. But first, talk to us about the risks of missing this opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think the risks are the same risks of if you're sitting around right now wondering where your next deal is going to come from, and you don't have a consistent flow of organic traffic from people that already know, like, and trust you. The risk is nothing's going to change. Your options now are limited to the inventory available for your referral partners in whatever communities they're in, or buying leads from somebody and you don't know what they're out there doing. You know, one of the things this market has done for us is most of our old referral sources or previous referral sources have dried up. So the biggest risk you run is this not changing. and you just scratching and clawing. And and if it's okay, I can roll right into the biggest opportunity.
Yeah, do it, because I think you've already scared everyone. Nobody wants to stay where they are in a market like
No,
this. They've got to grow. So what's the opportunity?
the biggest opportunity is to remove all of the hurdles of you being a content creator. When you're a content creator, you have an opportunity. So listen, we haven't talked about my podcast. I have a podcast called the Second Opinion Loan Officer Podcast. And what I talk about constantly there is you're not going to get first shot at all of these millennials that are going online typing in mortgage questions. They're going to get caught in call centers, and then they're going to get treated the way that call centers treat consumers, and then they're going to go back online armed with a little bit more information looking for a second opinion. And the opportunity is for you to consistently get your message out there and use your years of experience to put it out on the internet, where these online consumers and this millennial demographic, actually all demographics, are going online looking for good, honest information from somebody that sounds like they actually care. And if you're able to do that and express yourself, and listen, you already do this every single time you have a borrower on the phone or sitting across the desk from you or on a Zoom call. You already do this. The challenge is all of those hundreds of thousands of consumers that are online every month, they don't know it. So by doing this and converting those conversations and your expertise into content that can be indexable, found on Google, found on social, you're opening the doors. And the magic is, and I kind of hinted to this, when they look at your content, they already know, like, and trust you before they even reach out to you. They've already made up their mind that you're the person they want to talk to. That's a much different conversation than following up on a bunch of cold leads that you bought from some company and you have no idea how they got somebody to fill out that form.
You bet it is. Scott, this is fantastic. I want to encourage everyone to look you up. Now, I know right now, and this is going to be kind of evergreen, so we're not going to use specifics, but you've been asked to be on a number of podcasts and live stage presentations talking about these AI tools. You're kind of my favorite overnight sensation, because you've only been doing this for like 3 decades, and then you're the fastest guy on the AI stuff. So
Yeah.
I love what you're learning. What's the best way for people to get in touch with you?
I mean, honestly, you can just Google me on. I come up a lot. Like, even ChatGPT knows who I am. You can ask ChatGPT who is Scott Schang in the mortgage industry, and it'll list all of my credentials. My YouTube channel is probably the best place. It's youtube.com/Second Opinion Loan Officer. And I talk a lot about this and around these challenges, and present what I think are some really cool opportunities to approach this market and help you stand out.
Fantastic. Scott Schang, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you very much, Rick. I appreciate you.
We'll do this again.
Thanks.